In today's video, I'm taking charge of Liverpool for 10 seasons, because last year they won the Premier League and have added serious quality to their team since. So over the next decade, I want to see what I can do with them and how many trophies I can win with them. And of course, the wheel is back to make it either way easy for me or practically impossible. Right then guys, this is season 1 of 10 with Liverpool, and this is indeed the updated team that we've loaded into. And yeah, no wonder they won the league last year, they're stacked. They've got Mohamed Salah, who's just a goal machine, Virgil van Dijk, one of the best defenders in the world, Alisson, one of the best keepers in the world. Not to mention the quality they've added to the team. Jeremy Frimpong, who I've already converted to a right back because that's where he's going to be playing in real life. Milos Kerkez, who as you can see is an exciting prospect. Hugo Ekitike, who was fantastic for Frankfurt last season. And of course, how could we forget Florian Wirtz from Leverkusen. I mean, they've not put a foot wrong in this window, have they? And look at this, to their credit guys, Liverpool have decreased their average age of their best players by an insane amount. But there are the 3 big players we need to keep an eye on. One of them is Mohamed Salah, the other is Virgil van Dijk, and the other is Alisson. But 3 players out of a squad of 37, that's not bad going. There is also indeed 111 million still in our budget. And considering the goal with this Liverpool side is to win as many trophies as possible, yes, that bodes very well for our chances. And as you can see on the leaderboard, Liverpool are the lone team right now as they're the first team up, so they're setting the standard. However, it's not going to work by trophies, it's going to work by the old point system, and if you don't know how that works, let me quickly explain. If I win the UEFA Super Cup, the FA Community Shield or the Carabao Cup, I will earn 1 point. If I win the FA Cup, Europa or Conference League, I'll earn 3 points. If I win the league title, I'll earn 5 points. And if we win the big one in the Champions League, we'll earn 8 points. So it really is in Liverpool's interest to win as many trophies as possible because every point counts. But it's not exactly going to be as simple as that, is it? Because every season we're going to have to spin this wheel, and as you can see, it is bigger and better than ever. So without further ado, let's kick things off for season 1. What have we got in store? Legends, what's this? Only signed players 35 years old or older. Oh, come on, man, really? What a waste of 111 million, only going on players that are going to retire in the next year or so. But hey, the wheel spoke and there's nothing we can do about it. So with that being said, I started this transfer window by signing the legendary centre-back from Brazil, Dante, for only 2.3 million. A further 6.5 million was then spent on Francesco Acerbi from Inter, who to his credit at 36 years old is still a great defender. Then guys, I admit I hit a little wall when I was thinking about who I can next sign, but then I remembered a certain Polish striker who's absolutely insane. Yes guys, I have just signed Lewandowski for 50 million big ones to wrap this window up. And you know what, all things considered, I think we've done a damn good job. I mean, look at that guys, Lewandowski's up top, we've got a fantastic team all around now. There's only 2 more things we need to do, the first one being sort the tactics and formation out. Just because behind the scenes I'm doing position changes and I want everybody on board with that, so I'm playing the 4-2-1-3 formation with a balanced build-up style and a pretty high line. But this is Liverpool, they can defo get away with it. Just like they can get away with playing really high pressing, really high attacking football. But in fairness, that's exactly what they do in real life anyway, so this is no different. And there we go, we just need to make sure McAllister's a CDM and this team is bang on. Now that's the first of 2 things we need to do, now we need to finish it off. And you probably guessed what this was. I am loaning out a ridiculous amount of our youngsters for a couple of years. For no other reason than the fact that we've got a quality team right now and the players here just won't get game time, and I don't want their potential to be wasted on the bench. Especially players like Mamardashvili, you'll be a perfect replacement for Alisson, and Hugo Ekitike, who could be a great replacement for Lewandowski. But now that that's all taken care of, it's time to simulate to the end of season 1 to see how we get on. Well, this ain't a bad start. Premier League champions back to back from last year too. Yes guys, as beginnings go, this isn't half bad. No FA Cup however though, but we do win the Carabao Cup. 2 out of 3 trophies so far really isn't bad. And it was almost 3 out of 4, but Bayern knocked us out in the Champions League semis. Man, that would have been one hell of a first season, wouldn't it? But man, we have had a season and a half anyway. These stats are phenomenal. Salah, Lewandowski, Gakpo, all with over 25 goals individually. And on paper, guys, they just look even bloody better. Yeah, season 1 has been freaking ridiculous. Especially as you can see from the leaderboard, we end season 1 with 6 points in total. still. Had we won the Champions League though, it would have been 14. So that really is an incentive for these Blues to win it next year, because that could really make things tricky for the next teams competing for that top spot on the leaderboard. Right then, so we're going to kick Season 2 off with the wheel. We got lucky last time. Okay, decisions, what's this? Either your starting team gets a +2 in rating but you get a transfer ban, or you add an additional 75 mil to your budget. Okay, that isn't bad at all. Now, if we add 75 mil to our budget, we get over 200 mil in total. However, could you imagine this team with a +2 for every single player in it? I don't think an additional 75 mil will bring to the table what that +2 in overall will do. And so I've decided to make everybody's rating in our starting team improve by 2. Yes, we have a transfer ban now, but I can live with that for at least 1 year. Because look at the team now. Alisson's 93 rated, Wirtz 92, Frimpong 88, Salah back up to 93. I mean, last year we won the Prem and Carabao Cup with the worst team in this. Imagine what we could do now. Well, this isn't a good start. We lose the Premier League title by 8 points to bloody Villa of all teams. Aston Villa though, fair play. We haven't won the Community Shield this time either. Arsenal beat us on pens. Arsenal also won the FA Cup. And Bournemouth beat us to win the Carabao Cup. This season's actually tragic. And it gets even worse as we only made the round of 16 in the UCL. Granted, Real Madrid knocked us out, but that's not the point. Somehow we improved this entire team by 2 overall, and we didn't win a single trophy. Hang on a minute, where the hell's Gravenberch? Oh, for God's sake, since when the hell did he have a release clause? He's gone to Spurs for 87.6 mil. That's insane, man. I despise them release clauses. The only real positive is our front three have been killing it in front of goal for the past 2 years. But it clearly wasn't enough to get any actual success this season. Next year, we need these lot to buckle up and get back on track, because we cannot have another season like this one. And if you agree with me and want to see more videos like this on the channel, drop this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Well, as we start Season 3, let's hope the wheel gives us something half decent. What's 3 out of 11? Okay, choose 3 players in your team to get a +3 increase in rating. Hey, that's good. We get to do this and there's no transfer ban. Now, that increase is obviously going to go somewhere in the starting team, because elsewhere I don't think the players are good enough for it to have any real effect. Now, I'm thinking Frimpong's an obvious choice. 89 to 92 rated at 25 years old. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Another no-brainer is Milos Kerkez, 22 at 90 rated. Yeah, that'd be disgusting. And to be fair, I'm thinking Ibrahima Konate, 27, would be 92 overall. It's hard to argue with that, guys. He's got at least 6 years left in him as well. And there we go. Frimpong's 92 overall now, Konate's 92, and Milos Kerkez is 90 rated. And now that that's done, it's time to get to work in the transfer window, because we have over 220 mil to spend. And obviously one of the things on my to-do list is replacing Gravenberch. To be fair, I'm tempted just to bring him back, because he never should have gone in the first place. So you know what? That's exactly what I've just done. It's costing me 100 mil to do it, but I'm just simply righting it wrong. But there is one other position I do want to focus on. And no, guys, it's not the right winger or where Mo Salah plays. If I'm being honest, I'm going to try and keep him there as long as possible, because the guy's just a monster. I'm thinking it's time to replace Van Dijk, guys. He's 87 rated. He's clearly taken a hit more than Salah. I know he's 87 rated still, but we're trying to win trophies, and with him constantly declining, it's not a smart move. But I don't want to just go for everybody. I want a left-footed centre-back to go where Van Dijk plays, and I can't think of anybody better than Nico Schlotterbeck. He's 6'3" himself, 26, already 88 overall with his contract expiring. He's rapid, fantastic defending and physicality to go with it. I think Van Dijk himself would be happy with this. And so for a measly 65 million, he is now signed up for Liverpool, and that's our transfer window done. And I know half the team is on international duty, but that in its own right should tell you just how good it is. And before any of you are saying, what about squad depth? Well, feast your eyes on this team, man. Ekitike's back off his low move, 85 overall. Mamadou Villi's back, 88 rated. Once Alisson and Lewandowski are done and dusted, they're more than ready to fill in their shoes. We just need these guys to do better than last year, because if they don't, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. This is more like it though, guys. Premier League champions, and it wasn't even close. 2 losses all year. Yeah, we absolutely smoked English football. We, however, didn't win the FA Cup again, and we didn't win the Carabao Cup either. It's insane to me how you can win the Premier League twice in 3 years, but not win the FA Cup once in that time. It's a good start in the UCL though. We're straight through to the knockouts. And that's where we beat Olympiacos 4-2, beat PSG 5-1 on aggregate, smashed Inter, and we finally won the Champions League. Oh, that's so relieving, man. That is absolutely what we needed this year. But man, the stats again are phenomenal. 34-12 for Gakpo, 32-10 for Salah, 23-3 for Lewandowski, who's almost 40. That's ridiculous, man. Let me know in the comments who you think our top assister and goal scorer will be at this point, because I don't have a clue myself. All I know is at this point, the team is back on track. It's better than ever. And if we keep going how we are, we might just make it impossible for the rest of the teams in the series to catch up with Liverpool. That, though, all does depend on what this wheel gives us, doesn't it? And, okay, no excuses. This is a bad one. You must win at least one trophy this year, or your best three players get a -5 in their rating. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not too worried because we've just won the Prem and Champions League. However, the season before that, we did go trophyless, so this is definitely possible. And on top of that, Alisson, Wirtz and Frimpong, I kind of want to protect their ratings, guys. We've come so far with them, I don't want to go backwards. The good news, however, we've got over 180 mil to spend. And frankly, the team itself is still absolutely world class. I don't actually know where to put it. Maybe we could do with a bit more squad depth. I'm not seeing a CDM here. Maybe we could get a younger centre-back. There's also the option of a third choice keeper for Woodman. Either way, though, we basically got free reign to improve our team. You better believe I'm taking that chance. And so I began by replacing Woodman with Philip Jorgensen from Real Sociedad, who at only 25 years old is already 83 rated. I then spent a further 36 million on English youngster Archie Gray, who at only 21 years old is already 80 rated. And finally, 35.9 mil was spent on Bafodi Diakite, who's a 26-year-old 83 rated centre-back. And that, guys, will do for Season 4. And looking at the bench now, there is literally quality in every single position. For rotational purposes, we are sound. Now, granted, on paper, we are no different going into season number 4. But last year, these guys won the Prem and the Champions League, so hopefully they can just keep that going for another year. This isn't what we were after, though. Second in the league, only 1 point behind City. I'll say this, though. Look how close it was from first to freaking 6th in the league. There was only 3 points difference. That's actually mental. It was a really low point tally as well for this year. We do, though, win the Community Shield. And that means that's a trophy won. All of our players are safe from getting their ratings decreased. We, however, for the 4th time in a row, don't win the FA Cup. And we don't win the Carabao Cup. But we have won the Super Cup. So there is that at least. But we only made the quarters of the Champions League, getting knocked out by Barca. And by the looks of it, we choked a big lead, man. What the hell? Incredibly, though, despite 3 of our players being well in their retirement age, we've got a phenomenal side overall still. And 2 of those players I'm talking about have absolutely killed it with the stats again. I will say that the age thing isn't really a thing, because when you take a look at the average age of our highest rated players, like, there's only 2 or 3 even close to being a problem. You've got Alisson, who's now officially in his mid-30s. There's Mo Salah, who despite being 35 years old is still killing it. And then you've got a 39-year-old Lewandowski who's still bagging at least 30 goal contributions a season. And I've got to say, what a damn signing he's turned into. But this year we took 10 steps back after taking 5 steps forward. Next year we need the Premier League and the Champions League and maybe the FA or Carabao Cup at the very least to get back on track. However, the wheel will definitely have its say on what happens to us next year. Okay, what's this? World class, that sounds good. Sign the best player from your league for free. Oh my god, that could be a game changer, you know. It doesn't even have a transfer ban after this. Now, I've got a strong feeling I know exactly who the highest rated player is in the Prem, but regens have happened, so I'm going to go through the Premier League and see what's what. Now, guys, I've done my due diligence. I've been through the Premier League's players, and in actual fact, Alisson and Florian Wirtz are our joint best players in this league. So it looks like I'm just going to have to go for the best players who don't play for us. And I don't think it'll come as any surprise that Erling Haaland is the next best player who doesn't play for us in the Premier League. And the thing is, we got him for absolutely nothing. Good on you, Wheel. Thank you for that one. Now, this does leave us 189 mil left in the budget to spend, but I just don't think we need to. Granted, there's Alisson, who's 35 years old, but right down the road is Mamardashvili, who's more than ready to take his spot. There's Mohamed Salah, who granted is 91 overall, but if anything happens to him, Chiesa can step up to the plate this year. And now for Robert Lewandowski, we've got Erling Haaland and Hugo Ekitike. So in all areas, we are more than covered. I will say though, Erling Haaland in the Liverpool kit just doesn't look right. If anything, that's a crime against humanity. He, however, as you can see, is in the starting 11. He's going to be our main striker from now on. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how we get on with one of the most prolific strikers in the world up top. Well, he's not good enough to win us the Premier League because bloody Arsenal win it over us. Seriously, that's when you know things are bad. We still can't win the FA Cup, but we do win the Carabao Cup, smashing City to do it. So right now, the only trophy we haven't won is the FA Cup 5 years into this takeover. But we do win the Champions League. You know what? I'll take the UCL over the FA Cup any day of the week, twice on Sunday. I am struggling to figure out, though, how a team full of 90+ rated players doesn't absolutely swamp the Prem, though. I will say, though, I find it weird that we've added Haaland to the team, and yet stats-wise, this is the worst we've looked since Season 1. We are now, though, halfway into this takeover, and as you can see, we've got 30 points on that leaderboard, which is pretty damn solid, to be fair, but we need to get way more than that in the next 5 years. Because trust me, with the teams these guys are going to be competing against, they're going to need as many trophies as they can get. We do, however, need the wheel to be on our side if we're to get those kind of trophies. Okay, what's 11th? Whoever right now is 11th in the league, give them your 2 best players. God grief, that's new. To be fair, though, it could be worse. Leeds United are 11th. Could you imagine if it was Man City or Man United? That'd be awful. The thing is, though, they're getting Florian Wirtz from us and Ibrahima Konate. Yeah, that is actually shocking. And there we go, just like that. Both of them are playing for Leeds United. If they don't shoot up the league like a rocket now with them pair, there's something wrong. The good news is, though, we've got over 300 million to try and replace them. And to be fair, that is actually enough money to potentially do just that. I will say, though, I'm more concerned about making sure our defence is spot on more than our attacking midfield, because Szoboszlai is 86 rated at 28 years old, which isn't really bad, is it? Now, in terms of Konate's replacement, I truly don't think we're going to get anybody any better than we've just signed. As Willian Pacho joins us, he's 27 years old, 88 rated, he's rapid with great defending and physicality to go with it. And if you think he's good, wait till you see the cam I'm bringing in. As a whopping 135.5 million was just spent on German youngster Jamal Musiala, who at only 26 years old is 92 rated. We may not be able to fully replace Wirtz in terms of quality, but he comes pretty damn close. And with those 2 signings, this is indeed how our team lines up going into the second half of this takeover. It's not as strong as I'd like it to be, but it's as good as it's going to get right now. It's worth noting, though, that next year we are going to be without a couple of players. Robert Lewandowski is indeed retiring. Mohamed Salah's retiring. 2 of our best and most reliable players up to this point, so next year we're going to have to try and make do without them. But right now we have one last year with them, so let's make the most of it. And that's exactly what we've done, as we've won yet another Premier League title. And on top of that, Leeds are now 8th in the league, so Wirtz and Konate have actually helped them out a bunch. We, however, still can't win the FA Cup. We haven't won the Carabao Cup, but we do win the Super Cup. I'm curious if we're actually going to win the FA Cup in this video. One thing's for certain, though, we aren't winning the Champions League this season, as PSG knock us out straight away in the round of 16. Man, we could do with winning this a couple of times in a row. Stats-wise, it's a little improvement from last year. 26 and 7 for Gakpo, 24 and 1 for Haaland, 15 and 9 for Musiala. But we aren't seeing Salah and Lewandowski levels early on, are we? And that's worrying, because next year this team's going to be without Salah, Lewandowski. It's not so much Lewandowski I'm worried about. It's Salah's replacement that's getting me. Because this geezer for the last 6 seasons has been nothing short of sensational. And whoever comes in for him, if we are even able to replace him next year, they could have big freaking boots to fill. With that being said, though, it's a new season and it's time to go to the wall. No, you're joking. Transfer ban. Just when we need to replace Salah, man. The timing on that could not be any worse. To be fair, though, we've only got 80 odd mil to spend anyway. So to be fair, we wouldn't have been able to replace him regardless. To be fair, guys, I know it's not ideal, but we do have a certain Ben Doak who at 24 years old has got something special, and there's also Federico Chiesa who is a decent player himself. They're definitely not Salah levels of quality, but whilst we can't sign anyone, they're better than nothing. Regardless, so it's crunch time for this team in Season 7. Let's see how they get on without Mohamed Salah. Bloody hell though, get this, we've gone back to back winning the Premier League. We've also won the Community Shield. Surprise, surprise, we don't win the FA Cup. Are we ever going to, though? We, however, do win the Carabao Cup. And we've won the Champions League. Okay, we lose our best player, and then we do even better without him somehow. How does that work? I'll say this, though. The boys are getting into their groove now. 36 and 10 for Gakpo, 35 and 8 for Haaland. And that, ladies and gents, is the Erling Haaland we are all accustomed to now. And what's actually crazy, guys, in the second half of this takeover, as you can see from the leaderboard, it's taken us only 2 2 years to almost double the amount of points it took us 5 years to get in the first half of this takeover. So right now I don't think it's unreasonable for these guys to try and hit 80 to maybe 90 points. But if there's one thing that's going to stop them, it's that bloody wheel. So with that being said, let's spin it for the 8th time in this video. Oh, is that going to be a good one? Free pass, do what you want, bloody get in there. I mean, I'm doing all that, I don't actually know what I want to do. All I know is we've got over 100 mil to spend, and you know what, I think it's kind of obvious what we need to do. We need to find a suitable replacement for Mo Salah. Now yes, obviously we do have Dope, we have Chiesa, but let's be honest, they're definitely not a replacement for Salah. Bradley Barcola on the other hand is a phenomenal replacement for Salah, and we brought him into the team for only 80 million. And for good reason, just look at him guys, only 28, 88 rated, rapid with great shooting, passing and dribbling to go with it. We just need to convert him to a right winger and he's good to go. And with him in the team, I think we are ready for season number 8 with Liverpool. It's just a question now of whether he can deliver on the pitch for us or whether he's going to fall a little bit short. Well, he's certainly helped us out here because we've won yet another Premier League title. But this time in real convincing fashion. Man City were on 69 points, we were on 94. We however lost to United in the FA Community Shield. We for the 8th time in a row didn't win the FA Cup. We do win the Carabao Cup though, to be fair. Beating Leeds United. Oh man, I want Konate and Wirtz back. But we lost to Celtic in the Super Cup. No, that's outrageous. And what makes it worse, we don't win the Champions League. Bayern beat us in the round of 16. This season, we've lost out on so many points. And at this point, I can't help but feel like it's rigged. How does this team not beat absolutely everybody with ease? Especially Bayern Munich, man. We took their best player not long ago. Stats-wise, though, Gakpo is just incredible. Haaland is absolutely fantastic. Barcola's had a cracking debut season himself. If next year we get another solid option on that wheel, we could be looking very damn good going into the end of this takeover. And with a quick glance of the wheel, I think it is... Oh no, we've landed on the worst one. Unlucky, bankrupt, transfer ban, and you have to sell your best 3 players. Oh no, that's turned everything upside down. So we have to sell Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, and Ryan Gravenberch. This is bad, you know. I don't even think we got 2 backup fullbacks. I know we got Connor Bradley, but I don't think we got anyone else. No, to be fair, we do. We have Owen Beck, who's 80 rated, which all things considered is definitely better than nothing. But man, selling these 3, that is a kick in the teeth, man. Yeah, we ain't doing anything this season. I'll be very surprised if we pull 1 trophy off. Now guys, here's the thing. I was only actually able to sell Milos Kerkez to Bayern Munich. Nobody came in for either Gravenberch or Frimpong, so as you can see, I just released them and made them free agents. And I don't think this makes too much difference because A, we're bankrupt, and B, we have a transfer ban, so we can't spend any money anyway. All things considered though, going into our 9th year with Liverpool, despite losing all those players, this team doesn't look bad at all. I mean, obviously Owen Beck is a weakness, but we've got Archie Gray in the CDM role, we've got Connor Bradley in the right back role. It could definitely be a lot worse, but it's certainly going to be interesting to see how they do this year. Hey, I'll say this guys, the stats look phenomenal. 39-1 for Haaland, 27-12 for Barcola. There is surely no way we've done well with what we've just been through. Bloody hell, look at this, 96 points on the board. We've smashed the Premier League once again by 25 points as well. That is actually phenomenal given we've just lost our 3 best players. We've also won the Community Shield. We haven't won the FA Cup though. Surprise, a bloody prize. We haven't won the Carabao Cup, and we once again crash out in the round of 16 of the UCL. Why all of a sudden can't we win this competition? Also, I know guys, with 1 year remaining of this takeover, we stand pretty with 63 points on the leaderboard. I think we just need one really solid option on that wheel to come our way, and we can definitely at the very least make it to 70 points. And so for one last time in this video, we're spinning the wheel. What's this going to be? Head to head. Every time you play Man United, you win, you get any one of their players, but if you lose, they get your best player. Well, considering we've won the Premier League back-to-back convincingly, I'm not worried about this. We, however, only have 107 mil to improve our team, which is kind of an issue because I'd like a better CDM, I'd like a better right back, I'd like a better left back. I mean, I know they're good, but they're nowhere near as good as the rest of the team, are they? So you know what? I think we're just going to throw all of our money on that left back role where Beck plays, just to get the standard of quality of the overall team shooting up like a rocket. And so, £60 million was brought to bring in Portuguese international fullback Nuno Mendes into the fray. In 10 seasons into career mode, I think he's probably the strongest left back in the game at this point. Then again, there is Alejandro Balde, but he's definitely more affordable. Speaking of which, we do still have £39 million to spend. And you know what, that's got me curious. Has anyone picked up Gravenberch and Frimpong yet? Because if they haven't, I'm definitely... Oh my god, they're still free agents. Guys, we can get Gravenberch back, and we can probably get Frimpong back too. You know what? People have had a couple of years to get these guys. I think at this point it is fair game, especially for the last season of this takeover. And just like that, we conclude our last transfer window in this takeover by signing Gravenberch and Frimpong back, both on a free. And it's safe to say they vastly improve our team going into season number 10. And all I can say is, God help United. Right then, we're here. Match 1 of God knows how many against United. We are at Anfield. I am expecting a win here. Wow, it's only a 1-0 win, but it's a win regardless, and we get one of their players. Not that at this point we need any of them. I will say, though, I'm going through the team. Oh my lord, Phil Foden's a Man United player. You little traitor. I will say, though, I do like Gonçalo Inácio, 87 rated, 32 years old. And it weakens their defense, so the next time we play them, it'll be a little bit easier for us. And there we go. Inácio's still a red, but he's a different kind of red now. Honestly, it'd be a miracle if United could even draw against us at this point. You never know, though. Football's a wacky old game. Plus, Pacho is actually injured, which isn't very good, but we're going to simulate it anyways. Oh, bloody hell, we smashed them 4-1. Oh my god, they didn't stand a chance. You know what, though? I think I'm going to show United a little bit of mercy. We clearly do not need any more of their players, considering we've just slapped them up. So instead, we're going to sim to the end of the season and hope we've won a lot of damn trophies. And it's a good start, guys, because we end the takeover winning the Prem. And hey, look at that, Leeds United crept up the table to 3rd. Good old Wirtz and Konate. We also win another Community Shield. We have done this entire takeover, though, without winning the FA Cup. That is actually unreal. That's why that competition's worth more points than the bloody Carabao. Speaking of which, as a competition, we actually won. And we almost won the Champions League, but Athletic Club battered us in the final. I mean, I didn't see that coming. Status-wise, for our 10th year are fantastic. They're 39-4 for Haaland, 28-14 for Barcola, 18-14 for Musiala, 10-8 for Gravenberch. And this is the team we end the takeover with. And if I do say so myself, I think we've absolutely smashed it with Liverpool. As for the end of takeover stats, Gakpo's both our top goal scorer and assister with 266 goals and 109 assists. And as you can see from the leaderboard, Liverpool have a very solid points tally of 70, which is going to be a tough number to beat. But the teams that are going to be competing against Liverpool, I'd say they've got a fair crack at it. But that is where this video comes to an end. If you have enjoyed it and would like to see more content like this in the future, drop it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. And Diogo Jota, my guy, that one was for you. Rest in peace, my friend.